Okay, so gaming and tech this week, we have a really unfortunate announcement for a very Halloween-themed game, so timing is everything these days. And then Microsoft is making an update to an application that has been around the market for 40 years almost, so very interesting there, as well as some new gear from Blackmagic Design. So we're going to talk about that in a bit more. Let's do this. Welcome, nerds, to the gaming and tech news for the week. This is a clip that has been taken out of the main show, The Week in Nerddom, which goes up on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. In gaming and tech, we like to talk about, well, you know, gaming and tech, trailers, announcements for new tech and games and consoles and everything in between that is gaming and or tech related. So this week in gaming and tech, all of this stuff happened. So starting things off, follow-ups and corrections. We have one follow-up. It is about the Evil Dead game that just came out in May of 22, so a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago. It has been announced by the producers Saber Interactive that there is not going to be any more free DLC for the game, and not only are they no longer supporting the game in that respect, but they also have canceled the Switch port of the game, which seems to be a growing trend, that whole Switch thing. Very interesting that actually Mortal Kombat 1 did in fact come out on the Switch. We'll get to that in just a moment, so hold your horses. But yeah, very interesting that that actually happened when all these other companies are canceling their Switch ports, very probably because they're gearing up for the next Nintendo system, so they're just going to adapt it with better graphics and so on and so forth. So yeah, very interesting, kind of in sign of the times at this point. That's all we got, though. That is our follow-up for the episode. Let's move into trailers and kind of... All right, hold on. First up, we got two new trailers for the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, one of which features Idris Elba, who I believe is the new main antagonist, or protagonist rather. I know you built your protagonist in the game proper, but this one is, I'm not 100% sure. It just looks incredible. Yeah, the trailer is absolutely doing its job. Go check that out. And then there's the cinema trailer, which I didn't watch yet, but I'm going to put a link to it in the description anyway, because I honestly think that the new Cyberpunk stuff looks amazing, so I'm kind of here to support it as much as possible. From there, though, we got the Nintendo Direct. We're talking about this in trailers because it's basically all this was like 50 trailers for upcoming ports. Not a whole lot of original stuff in here. There is some, and we're going to talk about some of it, but we're not going to talk about everything that was announced in the Nintendo Direct. We are just going to give you some real quick highlights. First up, we got Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass, Side Order DLC, and then Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Super Mario RPG, yes please, more gameplay footage from that, please, as soon as possible. Princess Peach Showtime, one of the few original pieces from this Nintendo Direct. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered starring Lara Croft. This is the remastered editions. They are coming to the Switch. They're also coming to the PlayStation 5. I don't believe they're coming to the Microsoft consoles at all, but if that is incorrect, I will correct it next week when we talk about it. Then Detective Pikachu returns, a new Detective Pikachu game. Technically an original. This is not a port or an updated version. This is just a sequel, so slightly less original, but you know what it is. You know how it goes. Then we got Contra, Operation Galuga, which looks so freaking good. This Nintendo Direct is something that you should just take the 45 minutes or whatever it is and watch the whole dang thing, because it's fantastic. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, so another port, but again, Luigi's Mansion. F-Zero 99 is an interesting situation. F-Zero 99 is actually the OG Super Nintendo F-Zero game, kind of. They've adapted it though to become a battle royale. So it's, I believe you can do up to 99 racers on a single track. That's hence the F-Zero 99. I can't remember, that might be incorrect. It might be just conflating numbers in my head, but either way, it looks fantastic. There's definitely a lot of footage out there to digest, and we also have some stuff in the rumor mill dealing with this one, so stick around for that. From there we have WarioWare Move It. I love WarioWare games because they are basically video game crack. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting another DLC pack. This one is called Booster Course Pass Wave 6. Among Us got a trailer there, and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door was the one that they closed out the show with, because that I think is almost more anticipated than the updated version of Super Mario RPG. I don't know why, because Super Mario RPG is kind of legendary at this point, but you know, that was the biggest stuff from the Nintendo Direct. But again, the whole thing is really worth your time. It's just under an hour, so grab a little snack real quick, maybe a drink, and just sit down and enjoy some Nintendo awesomeness before they announce the next console. That's what we got for trailers. Let's talk now about some regular ass news. We're gonna come out with this. The first piece is the Mortal Kombat situation. So I just have to. Let's do something we haven't done in a mainline episode for some time. Let's put our reasonably nerdy caps on real quick, shall we? So Mortal Kombat 1 just launched. Very specifically, Mortal Kombat 1 launched on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles, as well as PC and Nintendo. So Steam would be PC, but Nintendo, the Switch. So people are really like ripping into NetherRealm and the I don't remember the studio that they hired out to develop the Switch version of the game, but it looks like a previous generation game, because the Nintendo Switch effectively is a previous generation console. The chip inside the Nintendo Switch was old when the Nintendo Switch launched. It was already out of date. All of this hardware is over a decade old, versus the new consoles that are just a couple of years old. I think we're in 3 years into the life cycle of the series consoles and the PlayStation 5. And then obviously the PC is going to be the most stellar looking of them all, because you can update that piecemeal, a module at a time, and just... I don't understand why the hate. Like, it just does not compute. Like, sure, is it a questionable choice to have released on the Switch at all? I'll give you that much, but because they did, you can take the gameplay. That's the main thing that we're looking for, right? Is solid gameplay. You can take that gameplay in your pocket effectively and go anywhere with it. And it's basically the same. There are some minor differences, but it's not really gameplay issues that were different at launch. It was more content issues, because the invasions stuff is not 100% equal just yet on the Switch versus the other consoles. But again, the other consoles, you're looking at 100+ gig download, whereas on the Nintendo Switch, it's going to be significantly less. I don't remember exactly what the measure was on the Switch, but it's not 100 gigs, I can tell you that. So yeah, I don't get that. Somebody please, in the comments or wherever, just let me know why the hate for something that just seems obvious, but whatever. Reasonably nerdy caps off. We will continue with the news now, shall we? From there, let's talk about Disney Plus. Actually, Disney Plus and Hulu both are raising their prices. This is not something content-wise that they're streaming. This is techie side of it, because it's going to cost you a lot more money. Well, maybe. So that a lot more money is actually just about $3 a month per service. So if you're paying for both services separately, which a fair amount of people are doing, I'm pretty sure, because when I tried to sign up for them together, it just for whatever reason didn't work. So I can't imagine I'm the only person that happened to. Either way, they're going to be approximately $3 more each, unless you have the most basic version of their service, in which case not much is really changing. The bundled basics is going to go up slightly. It's going to be $10 a month. I think previously it was $8 a month. It might have been $9 a month. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it was $9 a month. So that went up $1. And then the bundled ad-free versions is going up to $20, but I don't remember what the previous price point for that was, because it's not in the notes, because I take amazing notes. So yeah, just Disney Plus is raising prices on you because they're losing subscribers, and this is a way to kind of mitigate loss, right? From there, let's talk next about Microsoft and updating a 38-year-old, well, no, it's been 38 years since this program was updated, so the program is significantly older, but Microsoft Paint is what we're talking about. This is pretty noteworthy because, I mean, it's welcome to the end of the 20th century, not even the 21st century, because this is something that most image editing software was doing a long ago. But yeah, Microsoft Paint is now getting an update. You actually 3 big things in this update. First up, we have the background removal tool, which factors into the second piece, which is PNG alpha channel support, which means invisible backgrounds, as well as support for layers in your piece, in your file, in your art, I guess you could call it, in Microsoft Paint, which is a weird thing to say. But yeah, so 3 big additions to the Microsoft Paint program that are 38 years in the making. Once again, that is background removal, layers, and PNG/alpha channel support. So that's pretty significant in the world of Microsoft. Don't know exactly where they're going with this, but I'm intrigued. So we'll keep tabs. From there, let's go next over to a little bit of gear news, because, you know, tech is gear as well. This is for content creators. If you are a Blackmagic Cinema fan, or if you happen to just be one of those content creators who uses DaVinci Resolve because it's free, well, Blackmagic, the people who created DaVinci Resolve, have just launched a new camera. This is their first, I believe, first as far as like the pocket format goes, but first full frame cinema camera in a small form factor. It's going to be called the Cinema Camera 6K. It is, again, full frame, 24.6 megapixels. And then another first for this one is that it's going to be the company's first L-mount lens adapter as well. So to get lenses on there, you have to be part of, as Jared Polin would say, the L-mount Alliance. I don't know, it wasn't quite as dramatic as his, I know, but that's pretty freaking significant, because this is kind of a game changer in a lot of ways, because it's going to be on the lower end for cost. I couldn't find an exact price for it, but again, we'll try and follow up with it. Going to be on the lower end for cost because it is effectively the pocket format, the pocket footprint, if you will, as far as like the size of the actual camera. It's just got a giant sensor in there. When they first started the Pocket Cinema line, it only had a micro four thirds sensor, which is tiny by comparison. Right now, most of the Pocket Cinema cameras are rocking an APS-C size sensor, and which is kind of what a lot of content creators use, because full frame's expensive. You have 2, 3 APS-C cameras and 1 micro four thirds. But yeah, so it's pretty significant in that. I didn't see the release date for it either, but I'll put that up on the screen because, again, amazing notes. From there, let's talk now about, this is the big one, I think, for this section, and this is X, formerly Twitter. Elon Musk has just been putting it out there, not really committing to this just yet, but putting out there the idea that he's going to start charging everyone to use the platform. His reasoning behind it is this is the best way he can think of to combat bots, because in order to create multiple accounts, you have to have multiple credit cards, because you can't pay for apparently 2 different accounts on the same credit card, whatever. He did say it is going to be cheaper than X Premium, which is the $8 a month price tag that he's charging other people. So it's going to be cheaper than that, but how much cheaper remains to be seen. And honestly, this wouldn't be the first time that Elon has made an announcement and said, I'm going to try a thing, and then received such negative response from the community, or just decided that something else was a better idea. So the big announcement then got swept under the rug for the new announcement. So this is kind of a believe it when I see it kind of situation, though if it does happen, that is pretty freaking significant. And how many people are going to pay it? Like, I feel like if it's sub $5 a month, if it's like $3 a month or something like that, I feel like a lot of people will pay that just so that they can witness the dumpster fire that it will become firsthand. So I don't know. Let's keep tabs on that one, shall we? And then our final piece actually is kind of going to be brief, even though it is significant in its scope. The brevity is because it is very much still a developing story, so I want to kind of see where the dust is going to settle, not necessarily let it settle, but see where it's gonna settle before we get into this anymore. But it should be noted, because it is very newsworthy, that there was a giant Microsoft, I believe it was specifically the gaming wing leak. There was a huge leak, leaked a new version of the Microsoft Series X console. It's a Series X, but it's digital cloud based, so it's the more advanced firmware, hardware, that's the word I was looking for, more advanced hardware, but no disk drive, so you won't be able to play physical media. It will only be cloud-based media or downloaded media. So that leaked, new Pro controller leaked, and then a whole bunch of Bethesda games leaked. The Phil Spector has addressed this, saying that a lot of this information is old information and that the company has moved from it since. So we will talk about some of those implications in the rumor mill, because that's generally where we discuss specifics on leaks. But yeah, we just had to talk about this because it's too huge to not even kind of address. And if there is like major developments, we will definitely be talking about it again next week. But that right now is all we have for gaming and tech. We do have a suggestion though to get out of the way. So gaming and tech suggestion for the week, just follow the link in the description. I don't know what to tell you. Ryan Reynolds, that's what we got. Ryan Reynolds doing an ad that is more than just an ad, and that's your tech. Maybe it's a cop out. I don't know. It was just too good to not bring light to, I guess is the way to do it. So yeah, go check out the link. Once again, this is just the gaming and tech section. It is a shortened piece of the much longer news show that I do over on youtube.com/generallynerdy, which is the main channel. There's a lot more music and comic books and movies and TV shows, etc., that can be found over there on the regular show. Thank you for joining me here, though, nerds. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.